Hey guys, I just wanted to give you my thoughts on this week's episode of Supergirl Season 2, Episode 11. And this is basically continuing with the theme of focusing on, you know, being more character focused on like one particular character. This week it's going to focus on, well, besides Cat Grant, but also focus on primarily John Jones, the Martian Manhunter. It turns out that there's this senator who's basically a fanatical racist against all aliens, including Supergirl or otherwise, and it's pretty on the nose political commentary on. She's basically the female version of Donald Trump in the sense that all aliens should be deported and they should deported and they need to and we should welcome and they should be kept out and they need to build a dome around the earth to keep them out, then so be it. It turns out just when she's at a political rally making this speech, she comes under attack by what turns out to be a white Martian. And because John Jones used his powers on a security guard in the last episode, it turns out that there's like a telepathic link between green Martians and white Martians. So the use of his powers is what alerted the white Martian to John Jones's presence. And when John Jones first saw the white Martian, he froze up and was forced to explain his backstory about how the white Martians were essentially this murderous race and essentially like the Nazis of Mars. And about how John Jones and his family were put into concentration camps, and how John Jones was forced to watch his own wife and daughter like burned alive by white Martians, and how he had survivor's guilt, and he has to cope with survivor's guilt, like the rage, the need for vengeance against his family, all at once. And at first he reluctantly takes in the senator who's like anti-alien for her protection, but it turns out that she is the white Martian in disguise, and that when Supergirl was fighting them, when the white Martian abducted the senator, took her into a parking lot, and Supergirl followed them. It turns out that the white Martian had kept the senator captive and took her place to infiltrate the DEO, and John Jones was tipped off and because of James Olsen was there taking pictures and looking through photographs, she noticed that both the white Martian and the senator, through like adjusting, the color of the film, and Will had the glowing white eyes, they realized that the senator they were keeping under their protection was an imposter, and so Supergirl comes in to chase the white Martian out, but not before the white Martian basically trashes the DEO base, and to the point where John Jones decides that he wants to just like kill the white Martian for everything he's done, and kill them for not only killing his family, but also killing the agents at the DEO. And then they lead a rescue operation to go save the senator, but it turns out that John Jones finds, aka Hank Henshaw, finds the real senator, while Alex Danvers and her team find the white Martian in disguise, and so they get killed as well. And so John Jones is in this emotional state where he goes from rage and vengeance to just deciding that, you know what, nobody else should be dying under my watch. I'm just going to surrender and just let this white Martian take my life. Like, I don't deserve to live if other people are going to die because of me. And of course, Kara, being the heart and like the voice of reason, convinces John Jones not to give up and to fight on. Like, she lost it, that she lost her home, she lost her own family, not to succumb to grief, and and so when the White Martian had previously captured Alex Danvers, and John Jones looked like he's going to surrender the White Martian. Kara comes in and decides to just pummel on the White Martian, and it leads to this 2-on-1 battle between John Jones, Supergirl, and the White Martian. And the special effects are a little bit iffy, or pretty iffy. I mean, they're not really on par with shows like The Flash, but it's still pretty fun. It's still a pretty fun battle to watch. And just when John Jones wants to kill it, Kara Supergirl talks John Jones down in order to convince John that if he kills the White Martian, then it'll have the moral victory. He'll lose himself to this grief and vengeance and whatnot. And so they decide to lock the White Martian away in the DEO, and it warns that more of them will come to invade Earth, and Supergirl basically says, bring whatever you got. So that would be like a pretty awesome. That would make for maybe a pretty awesome future episode, and maybe Supergirl and her aunt General Astra will have to become like reluctant allies and have to fight an invasion of White Martians, possibly. But again, this is one of the greatest strengths of this show, and what they continue to do is that the way that Kara is able to make Kara like a relatable character by having her be able to identify with other people's plights, which I know some writers, whether it's comic book or otherwise, try to do for Superman himself. And maybe if they take a page out of this show, it's all for the better for Superman, Supergirl, and anybody else related to the entire Superman franchise. The other storyline that was addressed was we had an actor named Blake Jenner, who is actually Melissa Benoist's real life husband, and who they both co-starred together and met and fell in love and whatnot when they were both on Glee. And he guest starred as Cat Grant's older son that she gave up at birth. And Kara decided to take it upon herself to, as one of the letters that Cat Grant was elected to send, Kara decided to take one of the letters, finish writing it and send it to Cat's son in order to, reunite them, and just figured she didn't want Cat to live her life without regret. Of course, the meeting doesn't go off so well because Cat doesn't know how to deal with her older son coming back into his life, and he's pissed off that at their first dinner in years, that she's just talking about herself, and he realizes that she wasn't the one that wrote the letter, and later on realizes that Kara was the one that wrote the letter. So just to basically repair the damage, Kara's the one who has to go to a second dinner between the two of them and mediate between them and let them get both things off of their chest. And I gotta give, they really kind of stretch it for me. The fact is, Kara tries to, defend Cat Grant and say, oh, she's such a wonderful person, and it's like, I keep watching this and I feel like it's okay to admit that she's a bitch. She comes across as a nice queen. Granted, it's understandable, where she's coming from, and she has, redeeming qualities, but you can just say, yeah, she's kind of bitchy, but her heart's in the right place and rough around the edges once you get to know her, as opposed to just, saying all positive things about her, because that's really what her character is. But that being said, I felt like the scene between Blake Jenner and Cat Grant, when they're holding hands at at a cafe, and it was probably the most heartwarming scene I got from Callista Flockhart, where it's like she didn't come across as cold or distant, and it came across as like much more like human, and she seemed like the most open. And this is where we've seen the cat her performance as Cat Grant as the most open and warm in the series thus far. And I like that scene, and apparently they're going to continue this idea. Continue that. I guess he's going to be a recurring character because she decided to ask Kara out on a date. She decided to go through with it, and we also had Win Scott was there for maybe like a couple of scenes, but he didn't really do much just because of the fact that he was still hurt by the fact that Kara rejected him and said that she wasn't interested in him in a romantic way. She just wanted to stay friends, and so he's so hurt by it that he's basically been giving her the cold shoulder. So there's not really much. He didn't really do. He wasn't really like a major character in this episode. But the episode did end on a cliffhanger in which the Danvers sisters are watching TV at home, and they see what appears to be Supergirl, saving somebody from driving off a cliff, or accidentally driving off a bridge to their death by accident, which indicates that by using that information from last week's episode, where Maxwell Lord found out from the hidden camera on Alex's purse that Alex Danvers was related to Supergirl, that he decided to that's how it led to the woman who had the black eyes and on the IV into becoming like the show's version of Bizarro, which is a pretty interesting take because I don't know if they ever did a Bizarro. I think they might have, but they never really done like a Bizarro. They might have in the comic books, but I never seen like a live action version of Bizarro Supergirl. And the trailer indicates that next week it's going to lead to like a battle between the two, and that's going to be like the major focus of that episode. But overall, like I said, it's a really good episode. I really like how this show is. It makes it. I guess this is something like it has over even like the Flash to some extent. Over the Flash and to some extent Arrow. I mean, Arrow's been a little bit better about it, and it still hasn't been too bad about it. But I feel like this show knows how to. We're gonna focus on this one character, and I feel like it just knows how to like balance an ensemble cast more so than the other shows. That's come out from Berlanti Productions, I guess, Legends of Tomorrow notwithstanding. All in all, good episode, really loved it. What do you guys think of the episode? If you let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. If you like this video, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.